All right, everybody. Hey, our next speaker here on International Podcast Day definitely has an international flair. He is the host of Himalayan Tales, a story you don't want to miss, and it is definitely a little bit of a daily success story. I want Ravi Dabbiroo. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Did I butcher it? Dabbiroo?
Dabbiroo. Yeah, you're right.
Dabbiroo. My apology, but always glad to have you, man. You are doing some great stuff with your podcast, and so excited that you're taking a part of being a part of International Podcast Day today.
Thanks a ton, Scott. It's amazing that you invited me. Happy to be here. I may be a little groggy, but yeah, commitment is a commitment. I committed that I will be here. Sorry to have missed the earlier bus. Nevertheless, always good to catch the next bus on.
Well, we build that in. We build a little extra spot just in case for that. So no harm, no foul, brother. So share with us a little about how you got into podcasting and what your podcast is all about and your passion. Because I know that it's following you online and getting a chance to see what you're posting on Facebook or stuff like that. I know there's a lot of passion behind what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, Scott, one of the reason why I'm doing the casting or the podcast, blogcast, whatever you want to call it, for two reasons. One, I have been a consumer of content. So I've been consuming a whole lot of content, hogging a lot of content. But then I was sitting with my child and with my son. He's 6 years old, just turned 6. About a few months back, he turned around and asked me, hey, Dad, what is it that you're, reading up so much on the net? Why don't you share something with me? Do you want to share something new? So okay, right there, that rings me a bell. I already have so much to share with him. And similarly, I have so much inside me that I can share. Why am I not doing it? So that was a switch for me in terms of understanding that, hey, I also need to, it's not a one-way traffic. It has to be both way, give and take. So that was the time when I decided, I need to go live, do my 2 cents, get my message out. And probably that's how the journey has started. And it has been interesting while it started with the objective of reaching out to audience, but what it has helped me in getting my own thoughts clear. That's number one. So for all of you who are tuned in, I think first of all, heads up to Scott for doing this amazing thing. It's not easy for getting people together and sharing their views. So great job, Scott, on that. Right. So as Scott himself is doing it, it's so much more powerful for others to be inspired and contribute to missions like this. I think it started, it's a similar story for me when I started going out and broadcasting my message. I was a little unclear, but I always believed in generating momentum, and that's something by being an outdoor educator, by being in the mountains has helped me. Hey, when I am in the base camp, when I don't know what my orientation is, all I need to do is start doing my drills, so that I am in shape. So shape both physically and mentally. That's exactly, I think, what has happened. I went a little overboard in terms of getting my message out. But what has actually happened, I think after 60 or 70 messages, I think I found my voice in terms of really what I want to speak. So that has been a revelation for me, Scott.
So when you say you went a little overboard with your message, share what was some of the things you think you went a little overboard with for those out there? Did you just try to be everything? Did you get a little burnout because it was taking too much time, or what were some of the things you were doing?
Yeah, I think one of the things, if I have understood your question right, the main reason for me to get onto the bandwagon of podcasting is essentially the message. We all have a message, and that message need to be reached. And yes, but in terms of a mad consumption of content, came in from this huge FOMO. Am I missing out on something? Am I behind my race? If I do not understand, hey, let me grab this, let me grab this. So that's when I think one of the cool things happened, being part of the 2CCX family and understanding the tribe. Being a solopreneur, hey, you also need to understand who's your who. Uh, that sort of eased a whole lot of things. And then I started focusing on, hey, I'm an expert and I need to get my message out. I need to test my hypothesis. I need to do a whole lot of other stuff that can only happen by planting seeds. It's like I'm standing in front of a huge land of abundance, I know, but for that to be, for me to reap those things, I need to go ahead and plant the seeds.
So tell with everybody kind of what the focus of your podcast is. What's the Himalayan Tales all about? Tell them a little bit about what's the content that you're delivering there and your message.
All right. So Himalayan Tales essentially Himalayas are very close to me because I found my life's purpose and mission in the Himalayas. Himalayas are the only one, there are no two ways about it. There are no two Himalayas. There's just one mountain range, which is so exciting, which is so powerful. And you feel a sense of energy out there when you are in the Himalayas physically. But what it has done to me after having literally built my business over there, after having spent so much time in the Himalayas, doing multiple expeditions, is mountains teach life to us, right? It has taught me, it has helped me in finding clarity. It has actually put me in place when I thought I was a little too big. The entire magnitude, oh wow, I'm like nobody. That has put me in place. So these are some of the important things which I realized in my journey in the Himalayas, and these are the tales which I want to bring to the table because how do we survive a cold night? How do we navigate when the weather is hazy? How do we adapt? What is the ecosystem out there? There's so many learnings. I just want these messages to come out so that people understand the fragility of the system. Two, yes, they are powerful for a reason, and what can be learned. So those are the two things which I want to those messages to come out through my tales of all my interaction, right from my clients to tribes whom I have encountered, to the encounters of myself when I look at, oh man, where am I inside my tent? Let me just go out. How difficult is it to come out of your comfort zone called tent? But hey, you have like a massive view. What if you overslept by an hour? You're going to miss that beautiful sunrise, shining upon the ranges. Most of the time life is like that. A couple of minutes here and we're going to lose the magnanimous thing that we've been waiting for. So these are the tales which I want to bring to the audience who's keyed in, so that, hey, you can't go to Himalayas every day, but at least you can listen to somebody who spent considerable amount of time there.
Yeah, I love that. Your use of visualization. Now, are you recording the episodes anywhere from there in your tent, or are you doing stuff here in the house there for the most part? Are you using any portable tech to help out with that, or no?
No, right now I'm doing it from my house, but I have a couple of camps and treks lined up, so I'm gonna be up there doing the real stuff, getting some equipment, upgrading, understanding how can I leverage technology. Maybe I'm getting a drone, so I'm really excited about getting some nice shots, because good visuals plus a solid message is visually soothing and also pleasant to listen. So I think that's going to be that's a combination, that's a cocktail which is brewing in my head. That's the next phase of Himalayan Tales, where I actually in my journeys, want to capture the essence right there from the zone and translate that magic into the audience so that they can live that experience.
Mm-hmm. Now, with your show and everything like that, are you able to tap into local podcasters as well, or networking with other people locally? Is most of your stuff being that you're communicating with and learning from online and other groups?
Right now, these are very baby steps that I'm taking, and what I have set for myself is for the next 100 days, I'm gonna produce content, understand what my voice is, get my mojo going, and then once that small seed has germinated, that's when I want to reach out to folks like you, folks where I find connectivity, folks whom I really love to be in the company of. That's the next step for me. The first step is to create this insane momentum, and I call it the peak to peak to peak. This is I'm finding my peak of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
That's my upcoming book. The peak of magic. So peak of comfort is the first peak which I'm in. Then you move to your peak of adventure. It's a journey. Um, so right now I'm building my own comfort. So that's my peak of comfort. I'm gonna step on to find what's my call for adventure. That's my peak of adventure. So I'm getting my backpack ready to get into my peak of adventure and share the message, and eventually hop through peak of unknown. I'm sure that, and I have seen a whole lot of podcasters getting into roadblock after probably 200 episodes or 300 episodes. Now what do I churn next? So I'm looking at getting answers, being prepared for the peak of unknown, to jump into peak of uh, excellence, to peak of magic, to peak of no limits. So I know I have a long road ahead to cover. I'm just starting right there. uh, but yeah, I'm sure when we look for help is at hand.
So out of the episodes that you've filmed so far, what's been the biggest surprise?
I think while for a lot of time I've been hearing this word, find your voice, find your voice. uh, yeah, I was like, okay, I think I know it. I've been doing this. Don't I know my voice? Uh, isn't whatever I'm speaking, is it my voice? So there was a huge dilemma there, and that was like held me back for a long time in terms of just going out and doing things. But when I went ahead and did, and I and the reason was my son, and I also wanted this entire journey that I'm documenting to be a memoir for my child when he grows up. Hey, you know what, this is what dad has gone through. I always wish that I had these memories recorded of what my dad said. uh, so I think today we are lucky, and if I do not leverage this technology, I think I will have to blame myself. So that's my selfish motive, to be honest. So that if not anything, the message that matters is my son. At least he will have something to reflect upon. As I was progressing in the when I started recording, and it took me like close to, as I said, 60 or 70 of such recordings to understand. Hey, bam! This is what voice is. This is my sweet spot. So now I know it's very, very clear. Otherwise, it's just like taking a car and driving around. Yeah, you're driving, the drive is enjoyable, the journey is pleasant, but yet there is a little bit of gap of not knowing where you are driving to. So I think the biggest revelation for me, Scott, it has been finding my voice.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the most important things for us finding our really, because I look back at the first 150 episodes I did, and they were all with a Facebook Live, and I'm like, it's a lot different than they are now. The second half of things out there, where you talked about 100 days of content here. You got what 94, 95 days left in the year. What does 2021 hold for you once you get through this momentum shift for you? Anything future planned?
I think going ahead, I want to make it more streamlined. Probably plan in such a way that my listeners or people who are tuned in, they exactly know, oh, okay, Jan, this is going to be covered. Feb, probably since the trekking season will start. How about getting legendary climbers month? So let's celebrate with the legends. So giving it a little flavor thrown in, that's how I want to look at 2021 as a progression from a small sapling to a small plant with, it started to blossom. So I want to give that flavor to attract attract butterflies, to attract bees. That's the visual for me for 2021.
That's nice. It's a good goal to have, to envision, to have, is put it down there and rock and roll in it. And then obviously, like you said, reaching out to some of the best climbers out there, that adds a lot to that. Now, how many journeys, or not really journeys, how many excursions or
expeditions?
Yes, thank you. The other expeditions are you doing on a monthly or annual basis, Ravi?
See, COVID has changed the dynamics of the industry quite a bit. A lot of restrictions in place. So actually, post-COVID, I haven't been on a personal expedition. But what I have done, thankfully, again, I'm really thankful to COVID for the gear shift inside me of how can I bring outdoor philosophy to indoors. That's when the entire my brain started thinking in that direction. Hey, okay, outdoors is a medium. Why am I restricting myself to the medium? Now I need to get that message. Message is more important than the medium. It happens, we all get lost. So I was lost in that haze as well. Now I want to ensure that the medium it's a larger canvas. So otherwise, given in every year, I have at least 1 or 2 expeditions lined up, whether it is rafting expedition or whether it is climbing expedition. Most of these are discovery journeys for young children, where they go through with me for 3 weeks of total transformation. They get to know what their true identity is. It's quite a fascinating journey of what they undergo in these 3 weeks. And these are the 3 weeks which are my frameworks. I call it, what's your peak? Almost in the funnel language, you're like 1 peak away, right? So from your peak of comfort to peak of magic, you need to cross through various peaks. So that I could figure out my entire framework because of this gap.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense there for you. Yeah, when you look at podcasters out there, you have any that kind of come to mind for you that have been inspiration for you, or you're thinking about modeling your podcast? We've all got different inspirations from different podcasters or marketers. Who kind of stands out when you think about it's kind of being a mentor for you?
No, I think that's one conscious decision which I have taken of not actually leaning on to any one personality rather than taking this initial journey myself. So I've listened to quite a few podcasts. I do love how Russell puts it together, how Tom Billy puts it together. There are a few great Indian folks who do it. But not really do not want to get biased to my thinking of how my thinking would change. So I'm sticking to my own line. I'm sticking to my own climbing line for now, not to change the course of action. Probably, at the end of the year, that's when I want to get into a little bit of data, understand, hey, you know what, this is what I have done. Can I do better? Can it be, can the message reach to further more people? Can it be from, how should I look at from a business perspective, right? And should I follow or model any particular person? So till then, I think the journey is to find my own signature tune and then identify who are the people. Hey, probably it's Scott whom I would love to model against. Should I go after him? So I want to get my note right before I switch on to get influenced by others.
Makes sense there. Now I see that your book's behind you over there. I see a book by Elon Musk. You a fan of Mr. Musk?
Yeah, I mean, I like his contrarian thinking of defying odds. That's something, and it's very funny why I started liking Musk was because I'm a big Tesla fan. The Nicholas Tesla.
Yeah.
So I had always had these debates between Tesla and Einstein, and Elon Musk naming his company Tesla, and rest is history. So yeah, so I do like Musk and his weirdness that he brings onto the table, his craziness. So it's inspiring.
Now, what's one thing about living where you live? I think that maybe a lot of us would take for granted, or something that we should know about living where you're at in the Himalayas. That besides the view, we all know the view is amazing, and part of the victory is not the finish, but it's the journey or the path along the way. What's one of the biggest things I think you when you head somewhere else or around other people that they may not expect besides the views and things? What's one big thing, Ravi?
I think one of the best thing about being in the Himalayas, and I want this message to go out to a lot of people, specifically for young children or teenagers. Until you come and experience, you really do not know what the thing is.
Mm.
And Himalayas are those magical, it's a magical range, and it has got a lot of mythology behind it. Has, for all the viewers, so Himalayas is considered to be the abode of gods. For a reason, I don't, whether people want to believe or not, there's some kind of mystic energy, that's very instantaneous. I haven't yet come across a person. The semantics, the language can be different, but everybody feels a change in the vibe. When you are at that altitude, when you experience the magnitude, I think it's totally different. It's mesmerizing. And when we look at the natives out there, their life is so difficult. Young kids out there, if they have to go to school, it's a 15 kilometer, it's a 10 kilometer hike for them. It's almost close to about 10 miles, 15 kilometer translate to 10 miles of hike every day, one way.
Wow.
And you're doing it gleefully, and they're all tuned in, happy. I think for them, the abundance is the nature, and they're thriving out there. For us, a lot of us, I think sometimes we need to reflect upon the abundance that we have and start looking life from a more fulfilling manner. Yes, money is important. It's definitely important. But also pause for perspective. I think that's what mountains teach us. And I think Himalayas are best suited for this experience to come through.
I love it. I think it's great stuff there. What's the best way for people to connect with you, Ravi, or to find out more about what you're doing and listening on the podcast?
I think the best thing for people to reach out is to me on my Facebook. That's where all of my content is being aggregated from where it gets repurposed. But yeah, Facebook is my go-to spot. So I'm available on Facebook.com/Ravi Dabbiroo. That's my thing. That's
Cool.
where people can reach out to me.
Good stuff, man. Well, glad to have you on here today. Thank you for definitely bringing an international flair to International Podcast Day. Appreciate you taking the time on your busy schedule and get you some sleep, man. All righty.
Absolutely. Thanks a ton, Scott. You've been doing wonderful. I don't know what did I speak, but what I for sure remember is this conversation has been memorable. It put a lot of things in perspective. I think that is one of the reasons why I really love these conversations, and I love the way that you've put this entire series together. It's absolutely phenomenal. Good luck for you, Scott.
I appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing online again sometime soon and keeping up with what you're doing online. I follow you, buddy. All righty.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a lovely day ahead.
Yep. Have a good morning.
Yeah, my son's gonna wake up in a few hours from now. Dad, let's go for the run. I'm like, okay, boom.
Good stuff.
All right, guys. Love you all. Do come to Himalayas. There's magic out there.
Yeah, I love it. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Bye.